Hello lovely people, Rosa here to you, and welcome back to Let's Play Tetris Effect. In the previous episode... I don't want to talk about it. That was not a good start for the Let's Play, but it was funny, so we'll keep it in. And in today's video, we'll be starting off Area 2. Starting off with Jellyfish Chorus. Bleh, I suddenly cannot talk. That's what happens when you haven't recorded a Let's Play video in a couple months, weeks, whatever time frame you want to use. So, another thing that I wanted to say about this game that I know I already said in the previous episode is that I just absolutely love the visual style of this game. Like, everything just moves so nicely. The Tetris board bumps back and forth when you go across the area, and the backgrounds are just so nice to listen to and watch and things like that. Like, that's honestly like one of the biggest motivational thingies for me to want to work on the series, is that I just want to have these in video form so that I can pay attention more to the background, because the backgrounds are gorgeous, but you don't want to focus on them too much because you are playing Tetris, so you don't want to get too distracted and things like that. So that is something that's pretty well worth mentioning. I will say that we haven't come across a point like that yet, but one complaint that I do have with this game is that the backgrounds can be a little distracting. There is one point, especially later, where it can actually be a little bit hard to even pay attention to the board itself because of what's going on in the background. But we won't come across that for a little while, so when we come across that, I would definitely talk about it a little bit more. But anyway, going across this area, something interesting about this game is the name of it, Tetris Effect. So this is named after like an actual thing that some people have, where after you play Tetris for a long time, you'll still see falling blocks in the real world and things like that. So I imagine that's similar to that one trick where you have those swirly circle things appear, and you're paying attention to the one dot. And then after you move away from that, like everything looks like it's moving and things like that. I imagine it's something like that because in high competitive Tetris play, you're paying attention to the falling blocks for like hours on end. So I imagine it would be something similar to that. Alright, let's move this over here, and we can move that right there. I probably could be focusing more on trying to build up Tetris things, like having like a bunch of blocks destroyed at once, but honestly we have a pretty good rhythm going right now. And also everything is all sparkly and pretty and things like that, which means I get to be quiet for the music. Yay! Amazing how well you can play Tetris when, you know, you're actually focusing on Tetris. Okay, this is the one I was thinking of. I think might be another one. But yeah, this is one that I think it looks cool, but it's also just a little distracting because like all the floating windmills in the background, they kind of blend into the actual tetraminos themselves. I think that's what they're officially called. Like everybody calls them Tetris blocks, but I think they're officially called like tetraminos, but I don't know. I know, like, in, like, some of the earlier Tetris games, they were supposedly, like, given characters and things like that. And I know, like at one point, the people... I don't think they're there anymore, but some of the old people at Game Explain were talking about how they wanted, like, the L block from Tetris to be in Smash. Which would certainly be an interesting idea, and it wouldn't be the weirdest thing that they include in Smash Brothers, but, like, at the same time, that would be weird. But at the same time, like Smash Brothers, like one of the best things about it is that they can make like the weirdest character work perfectly in Smash. Like the Wii Fit Trainer still blows my mind in Smash. Like, how are they able to get the Wii Fit trainer of all people playable in the game? It's always interesting, and it kind of makes me sad that like the Smash discussion is over now because oh, that looks pretty. This game is such a pretty game. It makes me sad now that the Smash discussion is over because all the DLC characters have been announced, and we're probably not going to get another Smash game for like 5 or 6 years or something like that. Like, this probably will be like the last Smash game that Sakurai works on, which I'm sure he'll be fine with because like Smash Brothers is like a really big undertaking and things like that, and I imagine it'd be nice to work on a game that's not as much of a public light as Smash Bros. That's something that's pretty interesting. What I hope they do with the next Smash Bros. Game is that I kind of hope they kind of like, I don't want to say like a reboot or anything like that, but maybe like reinvent the characters and things like that. So have it be like the same basic foundation, but also kind of like work from scratch. Because I don't think in terms of character size, I don't think they'll ever be able to top Ultimate. So I think what they should focus on in the next game is to try and make the returning characters feel more fresh. Because like Mario, for example, Mario kind of doesn't feel like he really represents modern Mario games that well anymore. Because he still uses Flood, and Cappy is only really in like his taunts and things like that. They tried doing that with Link, but I don't think they went far enough with him. So that's what I would personally do if I was directing the next Smash Bros. Game. But also, like, the thing with Smash Bros. Is that each game is only finished in like 3 years or so. At least Smash 4 and Ultimate War. So the thing with that is that if they're going to try and top Ultimate in terms of roster size, they need to have more development time because, like, it seems like 3 years just like isn't enough for a big scale project like that. And I imagine if they had another year of development or so, Ultimate could have had like a lot more content. Like they probably would have had a more interactive story mode and things like that. They probably wouldn't try something like Subspace Emissary again because the problem with that was that you were trying to make a big story with 30 plus characters, so trying to do that with 80 plus characters would be like super difficult. And there's also the fact that it's probably a controversial opinion, but I honestly don't think Subspace Emissary is that fun from a gameplay standpoint because they have to balance out all the stages to be platforming stages for 30 plus characters, which means that all the level design is just kind of boring. So the best part of Subspace Emissary was definitely like the cutscenes and things like that. But like the gameplay itself, I honestly think Word of Light was just a little bit better in that department. But enough about Smash Brothers because we're talking about Tetris, except kind of not really because there's not really much left to say. There is one move in Tetris that I really want to figure out how to do, but I don't know how to do it, honestly. It's like a T-spin move or something like that. I think what triggers it is that you spin the Tetramino at the last minute, and that causes like it to fit into a place where it probably wouldn't otherwise. I think that's how it works. I know it's very important whenever you're playing through Tetris 99, and that's kind of a bigger reason why I kind of fell off that game because it was a fun game for a while, and I did play it regularly. It's just that I was never good enough to figure out when to do like T-spins and things like that. So I think the furthest I got to winning was like I got like 8th place and things like that. But then it kind of got to a point where I'd start playing through a game and then I get destroyed immediately, and that's never fun when you're playing through an online game. And don't even get me started on Pac-Man 99 because like I tried getting into that game, but wow, that game was brutal. all fiery. That's pretty interesting indeed. Now, something that kind of throws me off from time to time whenever I play through this is that one of my favorite puzzle games of all time has to be Bejeweled 3. That's probably the puzzle game that I spend the most time playing. But it's also probably something that I would never not play because I'm not good at all the modes in that game. The thing with Bejeweled 3 is that it has a similar structure to this whenever you're playing through one of the modes where after you clear enough tiles and things like that, it'll change over to a new stage. But the difference with that game is that whenever it changes to a new stage, it randomizes where all the blocks are going to go. It makes sense with that game because it doesn't really matter where exactly all the blocks are as long as there's still tiles for you to match. But with this one, it does matter because all the tetraminos have been carefully placed. So you gotta be careful about that. And if I've been saying the name wrong this whole time, and I go to edit this video and I realize I have to call something else, I'm not going to be a happy gator because I'm trying to be careful not to call them Tetris blocks. Because that's what I always call them, but I want to call them by their official name. So if like the one time where I try to call something by the official name is the one time where I get it wrong, then that's not going to make me a happy gator. And I already said that, but we already established that my commentary is repetitive on this channel, and there's nothing you can do to stop me. So one other thing I can mention is that whenever you're playing through these levels, I believe this is the case for all difficulty levels. I don't know about anything beyond normal, but you'll usually always start off with difficulty level 1, where the speed is level 1. Basically, everything is moving super slow and it gives you time to get into the groove of everything. But that is a cool background. I should have a counter for that every time I say that. So, progressively as you go through those stages, they'll all kind of start speeding up and things like that. And it can get to some pretty ridiculous speeds a bit later in the game. I don't think we're going to get to some of the more tricky ones right now. We might in this level. I don't actually remember how fast it gets in this level. Like, I'm trying to intentionally not prepare too much when it comes to some of these stages because the whole point of Tetris is figuring things out as you go. So I don't want to be too prepared when it comes to this series. Probably would have helped in this case though, because like we are not doing too well. Go over here. Get over there. Why did you? I did not say you could go. Come on, we're one away. We were one away. This is gonna be a running trend with this Let's Play. I swear I'm good at Tetris. What is going on? No, we were doing so well. Super close. That was way too close for comfort, but then we did it. D rank again. Yay! Someday we'll get higher than a D. Sounds like high school all over again. We're having this much trouble early on. We are screwed when it comes to the later stages in this game. But that's going to be it for this episode of Tetris Effect. In the next episode, we'll be going towards Area 3, Deserted. Oh boy, dessert! So thank you all so much for watching this episode of Tetris Effect, and next time, we'll be geared to you. Oh yeah.